Although the Mondawmin community has great housing, terrific green spaces, top-notch schools, and an active citizenry, for most people in Baltimore, Mondawmin means the mall.
The Mondawmin Mall is an anchor hub in the Mondawmin community. It's a big, stable force for employment, a retail space.
The mall opened up in '58, and before that, there was nothing up there. The mall, I remember when the mall wasn't no mall. It was just a big fence up there, a big green fence up there.
The mall has always been a part of the community, and it's still a place where you can come and shop and get whatever you need.
We have places where people can come and exercise. We have goods and services that are easy for them to access, and also to meet new people.
We're glad we have TGI Fridays here. We're glad we have Target here, because now you don't have to worry about having to go far to get what you need. It's right here. So everything that you really need is right here in the mall.
I mean, you got a hub up there with 5 buses coming in and a subway. Where else in the city have you seen the subway come into a mall? Nowhere.
So up at Mondawmin, there are a variety of different buses going all over the city and parts of the county. We have the subway, so you can get just about anywhere from here. It's actually a little bit surprising.
The transportation hub is one of the biggest transportation hubs in the state. Millions of people come through this area every day. If they're just going to Douglas High School, or if they're going to Mondawmin Mall, or if they're trying to get downtown, 9 times out of 10 they're coming through the Mondawmin neighborhood.
Orange Mill didn't want the subway. John Hopkins didn't want the subway. None of them wanted it. So he came and asked Mondawmin, Mondawmin, y'all want the subway? We was called Transpac then. So yeah, we'll take the subway. That's why the subway's at Mondawmin. When I first bought this house, I bought it under the GI Bill. I've been living here 65 years, in this one house here. When I first moved up here, it was 70% white.
So integration in Greater Mondawmin probably happened in the 60s when the Jewish community was moving out and the black community was moving in.
65 years ago, we couldn't go no further than here because we were red line. You know what red line is, right? We were red line. And you couldn't get in the house no further than here. You couldn't go out Ashburton, you couldn't go up Park Heights, and you couldn't go out of Ricestown. You couldn't get no further than here. Then as they started building the homes in Reynoldstown, Pikesville, and Towson, the white people started moving out, and then they lifted the red line.
My father moved into the Mondawmin community in 1959. He lived in the Lafayette Square neighborhood, and he was able to move up to this neighborhood, which was a big deal back in the day. It was when the neighborhood was becoming desegregated, and so he moved into Greater Mondawmin.
I've lived in this neighborhood all my life. I'm 52 years of age. My parents have owned property on this block since the 1960s. When I was growing up here, it was very family-oriented. A lot of blue-collar workers, General Motors, Spurs Point, Maryland Cup Company, and most of us came from families that had at least 4 or 5 children. And people went to church on Sunday. And it was just a very busy, happy experience. Nobody was rich, but there wasn't a whole lot of trouble either.
So I grew up in the Greater Mondawmin neighborhood, and my favorite childhood memory is this huge tree that was in my neighborhood that really belonged in the park, so they say. And my parents would come out, all the neighbors would come out and pile up all the leaves. And we as kids would just come in and just jump in the leaves. It was just so much fun.
I would say in the last 10, 20 years, this block has not changed much. On Ocontrolli, there haven't been a lot of children in the last 20, 30 years. But in terms of home ownership, it's held pretty steady. But again, a number of the homes could stand a little home improvement.
The Bear School has been a part of this community since 1933. We are the hidden jewel on the hill. So people will tell me that they've passed by Warwick Avenue many times and never even noticed that we were here. Because of the way that the school is situated, it's almost like we're up on a hill. And I like to look at that as us being like a crown jewel of the neighborhood, sitting up high, able to service these children with quality every single day.
The day of the unrest, and I call it the mayhem, the day of the mayhem, I was at home because I was off that day because I didn't feel well. And so I'm looking out of my window, because I live right near the mall, and I'm watching young people come down in my neighborhood fighting and carrying on. My nephew was at Coppin at that time, and he's since graduated, and he's calling me like, Aunt Jackie, you know what's going on in your neighborhood? Because I'm watching Young and the Restless. So stuff starts popping on the news, and I'm like, what? And I go to the window, and I see all this mayhem. I see all these kids. I see people driving into my neighborhood, parking their cars to go back up the street to the mayhem.
The uprising was isolated. It didn't take care of all of Baltimore. It took in a very, very small portion of Baltimore.
And I prayed about it. I said, why is this happening in my neighborhood, given how much work that we have done to uplift the neighborhood and to rebrand ourselves and to be looked at as a place that's really a place that people want to be in, and now this has happened.
But the news had it look like it was all of Baltimore. They exaggerated, stereotyped it. Everybody's going mad. But it was just a small part, and it was isolated. This part of Baltimore wasn't even noticed.
We are not what the media portrays us to be. So I was really distraught over it, and then God told me sometimes things have to happen in order for people to care.
It took some time, rebuild the mall, added more security, and put systems in place that should something like this happen again, we're more prepared for it.
Because everything that I've been talking about that we need in the community as far as development, as far as investment dollars, and as far as whatever we may need. I mean, you talk to everyone about it, but nobody can help you. But then that kicked off, and now the help is coming like Jesus has come down from the mountain with Moses and his brother and everybody else. But I'm really grateful for that, because I said I'll take it any way it comes.
Well, my history in this community dates back to when I was a child.
We are just an open community which trying to work and get our families the best we can.
There's a little stamp of each individual person who's lived here.
To put your feet where so many before you have walked.
That kind of thing sends chills up your spine.
We have a porch project that's coming up.
We'll be transforming 19 homes with new front porches, beautification projects to transform that side of the street.
So seniors or maybe lower income people that are unable to repair their homes, we're fixing their porches and upgrading their homes for them.
Porches are important in our community because that's your house, and so that's part of how you live, and it's your house, and you need to have that fixed, and just having that done alone will help you make your house look better, make the neighborhoods look better. And so when I see porches that are falling down or have come down, I'm like, wow, I remember when it wasn't that way. And so I want to help people to help maintain the beauty of their homes, and so they can stay under the value. And so you have to keep your homes up. So the porch project is very, very important.
I just came back to the neighborhood 2-3 months ago. I own a property in the 2900 block. I'm going to stay here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to actually remodel the home for my own purposes, and I'm going to be here for the duration.
One thing that gives the Greater Mondawmin character is that it's so different. We have houses that don't look the same. We have Victorian homes in Akintarali Terrace. We have oversized townhomes in my community, Whittier Monroe. We have cottage-looking homes over on Tiger Parkway in that community. All the housing is different. It's very unique. That makes us stand out.
Mondawmin's biggest challenge today is to stabilize the homes in the community.
The biggest challenge in the community to me right now is just trying to have people reinvest in the homes that have been neglected over the last 20 or 30 years. Because even though it may not look like it, even on this strip that I appear to be nice, there are a number of homes that need to be redeveloped, I'll say. I would say that's the biggest challenge.
And these houses have got an architecture background. These houses were built in 1920. You know what I mean? So they're nice, strong houses, Right. And the people, I know just about everybody in the neighborhood, because I've been around here for the last 65 years or more. So these neighborhoods, we don't let them fall apart. This block would not let it fall apart. Somebody comes in and buys it, we make sure they do something right to it. And that way you keep your neighborhood together. Hey Joe, how you doing this morning? Good to see you out here. Yeah. I got the name the mayor of Mondawmin because I'm well known in the community. But when I walk down my street, my community today, everybody knows me. So they don't see a stranger coming down. They see a man that they've been seeing for the last 50 or 60 years, if they lived there that long. They speak to me, everybody knows me. Even the little kids know me. The neighborhood looks good. Talk to your neighbors, that's what you have to do. You talk to your neighbors about your neighborhood, then your neighborhood will stay stable.
When I walk around the Mondawmin community, I see hope. I see people that are planting flowers and doing different things so that other people know we are so much more than what you might see on TV.
I see beauty, I see care, I see people talking to one another, I see people really knowing each other, and so that's what I see when I walk through my neighborhood.
So I'm 52, I plan to be here till I'm 62. I've enjoyed the neighborhood, I enjoy the park, and I'm a city boy, so I'm here to stay.
That's what I like about the neighborhood. It's a good neighborhood.
For more information on Baltimore neighborhoods and full episodes of My Town, go to www.charmtv.tv.